If I asked you what colours were used in this Border Collie portrait, you'd probably say black, white and brown. But one of the most important colours in this painting is actually green. One of the biggest mistakes painters make is seeing black and white instead of seeing the colours that are actually influencing them. Before I think about colour, I need to establish the values, and I use raw umber on a white panel for my underpainting, erasing back to the white to establish the lights and draw out the structure. At this stage, I'm concentrating on the drawing, the structure and the value relationships rather than any individual hairs. As I come towards the end of the underpainting, I'm really focusing on pushing the darkest darks and pulling out the lightest lights. Beginning this way is how I approach all of my pet portraits and portraits, and it makes everything that follows much easier because those tonal relationships are already solved. I always begin every portrait by mixing 4 major values, 2 in the light and 2 in the shadow. On this painting, what's really interesting that even the darkest dark value isn't really black. I'm adding yellow into the mix and a little teal to create a very dark green. When you place that dark green mixture into context within the painting, it reads as black, but it's connected to the background because it's coming from the same colour family. When blocking in, I always start in the eyes as it anchors the portrait from the very beginning. As I begin blocking in, I'm applying those 4 major values using the underpainting as a map. I'm not painting hair at this point, I'm placing value. The drawing and the structure decisions are already made. Now it's just placement of colour. What was interesting on this one was how strongly the background was influencing the coat. I never use black from a tube, I mix it from raw umber and ultramarine blue. And on this painting, I was pulling that mix towards green, even in the highlighted areas. Just enough to reflect the foliage surrounding the dog. Pre-mixing this way means you've done the thinking up front and you can just paint. Every colour is coming from that same root, so it all belongs together naturally.
Even though much of the fur contains very dark greens, once the lighter foliage goes into the background, our eyes read the fur as black. That is the power of colour relationships. It's a good reminder that the background doesn't just sit behind the subject, it influences the colours throughout the painting. Black and white fur are particularly reflective, so these colour shifts become much more noticeable. As I move through subsequent layers of the portrait, allowing the paint to dry between sessions, I always freeze my 4 colour values. That way, every time I return to the painting, I'm working from exactly the same starting point, rather than trying to remix everything from scratch. From those base layers, I start making adjustments, introducing more lighter lights and pushing some of the darker darks, always building from those initial 4 values outward. It's one of the reasons I love this method so much. What starts as 4 simple values gradually becomes a full range of tones without the colour mixing ever feeling overwhelming. With the colour relationships sorted, the later layers are really just refinement, strengthening the darks and adjusting edges and working the fur direction. The brightest highlights, the crisp hair catching the light, go on last and are applied thickly. This painting is a good reminder that realism isn't always about adding more detail. Sometimes it's about seeing the colours that most people don't notice. Black fur isn't black, white fur isn't white, and often the colours that make a portrait believable are the colours you never expected to find there in the first place.
This complete tutorial is part of my intermediate pet portrait course inside MazArt Academy. I go through everything, all the colour mixing and the full layering process. If that sounds like something you'd like to work through properly, the link to the Academy is in the description below. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next painting.